Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Double Double. So, this episode, we're going to be talking about public transport, walkable cities, and just how stress relieving it can be to live and experience a walkable city when you're traveling abroad there. So, I was browsing some really cool memes, and one stood out. It was basically why people were or why high speed would be not profitable in America, and um, why nobody would ride these, and it was just like a bunch of people in traffic, in bumper to bumper traffic. But it's funny. So we're gonna talk about this meme because memes are comedy, and comedy is culture, and culture is like the truest form, or yeah, or comedy is like the truest form of what people think. So yeah, let's talk about this cool meme. So, definition of a walkable city in this context would be you don't need a car to get around. You can walk. You have a couple different options: walking, cycling, public transit like the metro, subway, trains, or you can take a taxi. But you're probably not going to be driving a car. That's my definition of this walkable city that I'm painting. Some examples of cool walkable cities were Tokyo, Japan; Queenstown, New Zealand; New York; Chicago; Washington D.C. in USA. But yeah, it's those are awesome cities. I still have to visit Chicago, but if you are in Chicago and you want to show me around, let's go. Let's make it happen. But yeah, walkable countries in Europe, like the Netherlands, Italy, UK. Basically, all of Europe is more walkable. You can get around by train, and I mean, you could have a car. It could be a little bit easier to get around for some longer distance or road tripping, but yeah, for the most part you can get around from what I've seen on YouTube and some travels abroad there. But yeah, it's pretty good. Their rail system's really good. So an unwalkable city or an unwalkable country, I would have to put America in that because it is pretty hard to get around, depending on your city. So, but yeah, for the most part you're gonna need a car to get around. It's a lot faster via car. So my perspective from a car dominant country, USA, visiting a walkable country in Europe and Japan, for an example, I loved it out there. That's such a great amenity and such a cool option to have within these countries, and the countries and cities that offer it's really awesome. And yeah, you really do just get such a different and unique experience from being in and walking around and breathing the air of that country or city. But I think my favorite part about walkable cities is just spontaneity. You can jump around from place to place, just see what's cool. You see something cool that you like, you can go there. You can learn about something interesting. The little alleyways, the little secret pathways, cool little pictures you can take, meet random people along the way that you wouldn't be able to spot or go to because you're in a car. So yeah, you can really truly just absorb and enjoy the country or the city in a very different and unique way. But yeah, you get to try a different restaurant, something that smells good, being able to visit a pub, get a glass of wine without worrying about driving later. So you just have less on your mind, it seems, when you're actually out there. And yeah, you can meet some of the locals and interact with them on a more social and personable level, because you just don't have that car barrier in the way. You can listen to the language, hear new words, spark up conversation, ask for help or directions, because it might be kind of hard to get around if you can't read some of the lettering or some of the translations, or you guys sometimes you just don't know where you're going, and that's part of the fun when you're like walking around. um and you can also spark up conversation, like, oh, we have the same like t-shirt or something, or we have the same hat, or those are some really cool sunglasses. So you can get like inspiration from like streetwear and like different fashion and accessories like sunglasses, or like, yeah, people just wearing cool clothes. And it's kind of hard to, if everything's condensed in a car, you can't really see all that. You can't really get inspired by the city and the fashion, and just like, oh yeah, these people are wearing this type of clothing out here, it's like, this is very fashionable, very urban-y, like, I don't know if that's a word, but they're like very fashion forward in this district or in this part of the neighborhood, and in this area they're more like vintage goods, so it's really cool just like being able to see the city in that level. Or like even a sports team, you just see a bunch of people wearing the same sports jerseys, or the same like ball cap, so yeah, it's just a cool thing to see all of that stuff in while you're just walking around using public transport. And yeah, you can even like become friends with them too, so yeah, over time, definitely become friends and end up meeting and interacting with like more people. So it's just cool. Yeah, cars definitely add another barrier, because there's that separation. You can't just like go and hang out with them. And if you bump into somebody get a little too close, they're gonna be kind of mad, So. But also, I do want to add that I am not a car hater. I think cars are super cool. I love like Toyotas, and, like the Land Cruiser and Rivian. There's some cool cars that are coming out. The Porsches. There's some really cool cars out there. And yeah, the engineering's cool. The business side's cool. The marketing, all the science that goes behind it, the supply chain. It's a fascinating thing. So I'm not a car hater. But also just like the when I was talking to a bunch of other like Americans abroad, they were also fascinated by like the public transit. And they all just seemed so happy because they were like less stressed. And it might have been because they were walking all day. Walking kind of makes you happy, makes you feel good. It's exercise. They were eating food, like local foods, and just hanging out. So yeah, everybody was just really happy. And you don't really see that too often. I mean, depends on which city you're at, but these guys were very, very happy and very nice. So it would be really cool just seeing a bunch of Americans that are super nice and not stressed out all the time, from just not being bound to their cars, or just focusing on other things like living. But yeah, they weren't like stressing out over a parking spot or paying for the parking spot or worrying about getting towed. They were literally just like enjoying life, and it was such a cool thing to see. Americans do seem to really enjoy like European countries, because it's just like, it's not super foreign to it, but it's not like, it's still different enough from the US that they can create like these really unique and different memories and experiences from their time abroad. Also, the public transport is very different from America. So yeah, seeing that and experiencing that, some things that we don't have in the US into these other countries, definitely makes you want to visit more. But yeah, public transport just seems more relaxing to an extent, because it's just, you're less things to worry about. You do put a lot more trust into the system and to the people operating it, so you do have that another layer of appreciation of people. And yeah, it's cool. Just like walking around, getting some exercise, like supporting these local restaurants, eating really good food and drink. Yeah, Americans abroad in Europe, they're like so happy. uh, but yeah, also walkable cities force you to rethink like what you can bring, because it's probably going to be on your back, on your person. You don't really have a car to stow your like gear and your bags and stuff. And yeah, it'll be on your back and you'll feel the weight. It doesn't matter how light you pack. Clothes and a laptop and shoes, all that other stuff you need for a couple days or weeks or however long your trip is, it will like make you a little bit tired. So, but if you're dealing with like only airports and stuff, and you don't have to deal with so many stairs, yeah, then a roller bag could work. But yeah, it really just depends on the place or the environment that you're visiting. Also, another thing that I read was it was Michelin. The Michelin tire company. That's such an interesting story because Michelin, they make tires, and they have the Michelin star restaurants and stuff. So you're like, what? How does a tire company and a restaurant like Michelin star rating? How does that? What commonalities do they have? But basically, it was a tire company trying to promote their tires, so they were like, okay, it's a genius way to like vertically integrate this marketing scheme into their business model of let's make this little red notebook or this little book with a bunch of cool restaurants and really good food. And you can travel to them from different places. So basically, more people driving means more people on the road, which means more depreciated tires, more worn out tires, and you have a reoccurring customer for these tires in the future. So they're like, oh yeah, we went to this Michelin star restaurant. This one's super good, but it's really far. And they wear down their tires, So you're going to have to buy more tires, and it's probably a Michelin one because they're marketing and branding with the restaurant. So, but yeah, all the car guys, don't hate on me. Like, I think cars are cool. But if you really think about it, I think car guys should be pro public transport, public train, more bike lanes, and yeah, all that good stuff. More metros, more subway systems. Like if you really love your cars, right, it would really suck to be stuck in traffic with your super cool car. You could have a SF90 or a Rolls Royce or a Maybach, and that still, like, you want to drive it, So if they've all these people in like traffic, in bumper to bumper traffic, you can't really drive it too much because you're stuck. So if you get more people off of the roads and into a train, into walking or biking, that means more open road for you and your other car friends. So think about it. But yeah, at the end, I think walkable cities just make things a little bit more personable. It's super fun and easy to get around. You get to go to all these cool restaurants and take some cool pictures of really cool areas. See people, you see the style, see what's like in, cool backpack designs, spark up some conversations. Yeah, it's just more personable, and you get some really good exercise. Walking's like super good for you. But yeah, and you also are more in tune with like what stuff you have on you, because you have to pack pretty light. And then if you need something, you can go shopping and buy something at the city that you're at. So, and you have to consider like the weight and like all that other stuff. So there's like, you're very like in tune to the things you buy, and yeah, it's probably gonna deter you from buying so much stuff because it's heavy. But yeah, you get to interact with the locals and see what they do, see what they eat, and you get to become a local for a little bit, for a couple days or weeks, or sometimes you might even like become one of them and stay there long term or work there. So Yeah, and yeah, checking out some of the restaurants, cool sites, and like yeah, you make some friends along the way. They can recommend other places for you to visit. Uh, yeah, you can't really do that in a car, kind of, because if yeah, it's a car. I mean, you can meet people at a destination and they can recommend you something, but yeah, it's really interesting just like getting around by the spontaneity of life and people and yeah. But yeah, all the Americans that I met abroad, they really enjoyed these walkable cities and a decent public transport. So hopefully we can have one of those in the U.S. one day. That'll be pretty awesome. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the walkable cities, your favorite city. DM me on Instagram at bigdogsgottaeat.blog. Write a comment on our YouTube channel. And yeah, thanks again for watching this. Really appreciate it. So I'll see ya.